Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, it's Diego with the beautiful Karina here in Bogotá, Colombia, high up in the Andes Mountains. And this is your channel where you can get the answers to your K1 visa questions totally free, no charge. Just hang out with us on your YouTube channel, K1 Visas live stream from Bogotá, Colombia. Now, I'm not an immigration attorney. I don't work for USCIS. I don't give you any legal advice, none of that, okay? But I've been through two K1 visas successfully. I've been through the spousal visa, and now we're at the tail end of this K1 visa. And Karina, she got her K1 visa approved on November 16th, 2023, very early in the morning at the embassy in Bogota. And the only thing we needed was an Interpol police certificate, which we got a couple of days ago, which took about 3 weeks to get. So if you are a Venezuelan living in Bogota, Colombia, or living anywhere in Colombia longer than 6 months, I have got no doubt in my mind that you are going to need a Interpol certificate along with the police certificate from Venezuela. So come on along. Let's talk about K1 visas. Let me answer your questions. 99.9% of the time, I know the answer to the question, so you don't have to call USCIS. You don't have to email them unless it's necessary. Like you have to do an inquiry on your case. But I can answer your questions pretty quick, and that means that saves you time and it saves you money. Now, to me, putting together a K1 visa package is not difficult. Okay, it's easy. It's easy paperwork, but it just takes a lot of dedication, a lot of time, and a lot of work. And you have to put together, a strong K1 visa package at the outset when you send it to the lockbox in Louisville, Texas. The lockbox in Louisville, Texas, they decide which service center they're going to send the K1 visa package to. More than likely, it's going to go to California. Second chance would be Texas and then Nebraska, etc. And Dina Ali is in the house. Dina says, "Hi, Diego and Karina. What's going on, Dina? How is your family doing? How is your beneficiary doing?" Now, don't forget, Dina, your beneficiary has got to get his medical exam in Abu Dhabi. Not Abu Dhabi, not in Iraq. Okay. And Anil Kumar, Vade, hi, what's going on, Anil? What's going on? What are you doing? How far along are you in your K1 visa process? Has anybody not submitted their K1 visa packet yet? Have you not submitted it? Are you trying to learn how to put a K1 visa package together? Are you trying to learn how to do adjustment of status? What exactly is it that you're trying to do? Adjustment of status happens when you get to the United States. You get married within 90 days and you apply for your green card. And Kaur, how soon is a good time to file for adjustment of status? I would do it within 30 days of getting married. So if you get married within the first 2 weeks, then within that next 30 to 40 days, file for your adjustment of status for the green card, because you want to try to get the adjustment of status applied for within 90 days. Remember, when you enter the United States, okay, you go in front of a Border Patrol officer at the airport, and the Border Patrol officer is going to interview you briefly and check your passport, check your K1 visa and all that. And then he's going to create a form I-94 in a computer, which you have to print and include in your adjustment of status. The I-94 is good for 90 days. It's a 90-day window of time for you to go get married. And then my recommendation is getting the green card applied for within that 90 days. That way you'll get your green card in 3-4 months, not in 8, 9, 10 months. Dina, Ali, doing great. We're so happy we can't wait for the interview. Yeah, the scary visa interview. It's not hard to do, guys. Let me see here. Todd, hey Diego and Miss Karina. This is Todd from North Carolina. What's up, Todd? We finally reached our mile marker, November 22nd, 2022, November 22nd, 2023. Just being patient and holding on. So excited. Yeah, Todd, just hang in there, okay? Remember, There's no such thing as a rapid visa. It's called, it should be called the slow visa, the slow boat to whatever country it is you are in visa, because there's nothing fast about this process. The maximum amount of time you should be waiting for your K1 visa to an OA1 letter to the visa in the passport, the maximum amount of time you should wait is 24 months. Probably the fastest you're going to see a K1 visa process is going to be between 12 and 13 months. Tasha Slingy's World. Hi, Diego and Karina. I land that night in New York City. Well, we're glad. I bet it's cold. Was it snowing? At which airport did you land in? Did you land at John F. Kennedy International in Queens, or did you land in LaGuardia? Which airport did you land in? Dina, Ali, Diego, does the embassy send my fiance the name of the case number to the medical center? Is that true? Or the medical number to the, no, the sponsor, Dina, Ali, you're the sponsor. You will get the email from the embassy directing you, okay? We've done everything so far. They will send the case number to you. They will send the invoice number to you. You need to be in control of this K1 visa process. You need to pay the visa fee, schedule the interview. And then your beneficiary in Abu Dhabi is going to have to schedule the medical exam, get the blood work taken, get the chest x-ray done. You got to draw blood, draw blood like a vampire, get a chest x-ray, and then do a face-to-face with the doctor and go have a physical exam. It's not intrusive, okay? It's not hard. So Dina, your beneficiary can schedule the medical exam, okay? Kawer, how long does the adjustment of status take? Well, if you adjust the status within 90 days, you can get it done in 3, 4, 5 months. If you adjust the status after 90 days, once your I-94 times out, then it could take 6, 8 months. Depends, on which part of the United States you live in. If you live on the West Coast, they're kind of busy right now, so that you would send your adjustment of status paperwork to Phoenix, Arizona. If you live on the East Coast, like in Florida, somewhere like that, you send it to Chicago, which is in Illinois. Anil Kumar, Vade, yesterday I talked to the lawyer, but they didn't tell me anything about our case. When I talked to them, they said they sent our application to the NVC. Well, your lawyer doesn't send anything to the NVC, okay? Immigration at USCIS, once you get your NOA2 letter, your approval from the service center, that's when the USCIS sends it to the NVC, not your attorney, okay? Then the National Visa Center will send you a welcome letter, K1FTP, which you must print and get to your beneficiary a copy for the medical exam, for the scheduling the medical exam. Let me see here. So, Anil, once it goes to the NVC processes it and sends it to the embassy. Las Barrias. Hi, Diego and Karina. We almost 90 days waiting for the interview. The I-797 says, expire December 20th, 2023. What should I do? Las Barrias, you must send an inquiry to the National Visa Center. Send them an inquiry right tonight and say, dear NBC, I'm just checking in. This is my beneficiary's full name. This is her passport number. This is her case number and all that jazz. Send an inquiry, and then the NVC will send you an email back automatically, which will then automatically extend your NOA2 letter up until the visa interview when you can get it scheduled. But you must send an inquiry to the NVC, okay? The NVC inquiry extends your NOA2 letter. Michael Q, my fiance is in Germany, okay, and took time off from school. She's an international student from Ghana, very nice, and wants to know if this will create any problem at the interview. NOA1, May 11th, 2023. Michael Q, if your beneficiary, your future wife is in Germany, and she's from Ghana, and she's not working, she's not a student, and you're taking care of her, if you are helping her financially, which I hope you are, it's no big deal. Doesn't matter. Immigration don't care what your beneficiary is doing, and as long as your beneficiary is staying out of trouble. Okay? That's all they care about. Michael, your beneficiary is from Ghana. She's going to need a police certificate from Ghana. If she's been a resident of Germany for 6 months or longer, she's going to need a police certificate from Germany. Okay, so Ghana and Germany, and then if she's lived in any other countries longer than 6 months, she's going to need a police certificate from that country. Now I don't know. There's a possibility they may require an Interpol police certificate from Germany also. I don't know. I know in Colombia, if you are a Venezuelan living in Colombia longer than 6 months, you're going to need a Interpol police certificate and a Venezuelan police certificate. So Michael, no, it's not going to be a problem for your fiance to take time off from her studies as an international student. It's no problem. Tasha Lynn's World. The border immigration did not give me any documents. Where would I get that? You have to get the form I-94, Tasha Lynn's World, online at the Border Patrol and Customs and Immigration website. Now, I made a video on how to get the form I-94. Okay, I made a video how to get the form I-94 at the end after you have entered the United States and you've had your face-to-face interview with the Border Patrol officer. Look through all the videos, page down through all the videos, and look for form I-94 video. Watch it. It will explain to you how to get the form I-94. Or if you don't want to look at the video, if you don't want to watch the video, just Google form I-94 Border Patrol point of entry. You can do it that way. But you must not submit for your green card. You must, ladies and gentlemen, the boys and girls, you must include form I-94 in your adjustment of status paperwork for your green card application. If you do not, you are going to get an RFE, request for further evidence. Immigration is going to ask for that form. And if you can't find it, if you can't provide it, if you can't print it, you're not going to get your green card. You're not going to get it. So what is form I-94? That is the form that tells immigration that you did a face-to-face visa interview with the Border Patrol and Customs Immigration Officer, CBP officer at the port of entry. When Karina lands in Miami, she's going to hold my arm, hold my hand. We're going to walk to the U.S. citizenship line. We're going to walk through the U.S. citizenship line, and she's going to do a face-to-face interview with the Border Patrol officer. Okay? Takes about 5, 10, 15 minutes tops. Once she gets done with that, she's going to be free to leave and enter into the big city of Miami. And then we're going to fly, or we're going to probably drive or fly from Miami to Pensacola without Tokyo. So Tasha Lynn's World, you can get your I-94 form online at the Border Patrol website, U.S. Border Patrol website. Go in there and put in your passport number, put in your name, your full name, and then it will look for your port of entry documentation, and then a big form's going to pop up, and you print it. And I would print like 2 or 3 copies. Okay, so you got backup. And I'm drinking Coca-Cola, ladies and gentlemen, because I don't have any Mountain Dew in Colombia. There's no Mountain Dew here. Oh, thanks, Tasha Lynn's World. And I landed at JFK Airport. Okay. So you landed at John F. Kennedy International Airport in Queens. And hopefully the weather was nice for you. Now behind us, we got all these different fruits. And this is for our Christmas dinner. Karina, she's going to we're going to have a big family Christmas dinner because it looks like we're going to be in Colombia for Christmas. We were hoping to be in Florida, but that's okay. Jose Apolinar Ramirez. Hi, Diego. I hope you and Karina have a nice weekend. Bon fin de semana. Sí, gracias. My fiancée, Juliana, got her visa approved last Monday in Santo Domingo. Okay, very nice. Waiting for the visa in the passport so that we can fly back to the New York City, USA. Yeah, very soon. Jose, not much longer. And you guys will be reunited and in New York City. Lamin Jabang. Hello, Diego. How are you? Good. We're good, 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 good. I have all my papers. I have, but I'm not. I not have the interview in the U.S. Embassy in Senegal. You have all your papers, but I didn't have the interview in the embassy. Well, you gotta have a. What do you mean you got all your papers? I don't understand your question. Okay. Nick, hi Diego. Question: will my fiance need receipts for shopping done for her engagement as proof? Sure. Every piece of evidence is important in this process. Also, medical is done, and we got my interview on the 27th of December for the scary visa interview. Okay, so that's just, 11 days away, no biggie. But bring that evidence to the visa interview. What if the immigration officer, the consular officer, the MC says, I need proof of your relationship or proof of a wedding plans or whatever? It could happen. Then you will have the receipts for the documents for the engagement. And then you can present it to the consular officer and say, here's proof of our wedding, proof of our engagement, proof of our relationship. Let me see. So you didn't have your interview in the embassy in Senegal? Did you schedule an interview? Did you pay for the interview? You got to schedule it. You got to pay for it. Tashless in this world, it's very cold in New York. So it's cold. That's why I live in Florida. That's why we're going to live in Florida. If I wanted to be cold and snowed up to my neck, I would live up north. Michael Q, thanks Diego. Can I know if all the documents you sent to USCIS are sent to the NBC? Yes, once the application is approved, everything you sent to USCIS, it goes to Louisville, Texas, Dallas, and it goes to the service center. At the service center, they adjudicate it. It takes between 10, 11, 12, 13 months, maybe 14 months. They adjudicate it, then they either approve it or they ask you for more info or they deny it. Okay? Now, if you didn't put together a good K-1 visa package, if you forgot stuff, if immigration don't think you're in a real relationship, if the security check comes up that somebody has a major felony that wasn't included in the visa package, then the visa gets denied. Okay, if you didn't meet each other face to face within 2 years, then your visa gets denied. Okay, but yeah, once they get it, the service center approves it, then they send it to the NVC. The National Visa Center is in New Hampshire. Now, the National Visa Center cannot approve or disapprove visas. What they do is they process visas. Okay, they assign case numbers. Then they ship it to the embassy. If the National Visa Center finds a problem with your K-1 visa application, they will send it back to USCIS, but they cannot deny visas at the NVC. The NVC finds your visa application is good to go. They send it to the embassy. Then you do the next step. You wait for the welcome letter, the K-1 FTP. You wait for the in transit. You wait for the ready status. When you get the ready status, then you send an email to the embassy and ask if you can start the process of paying for the visa and scheduling the interview. Jacob Myers, Pastel Medical. Now, so Jacob, you passed the sputum test in the Manila, right? Jacob, you're in the Manila, Philippines, and you were very anxious about the sputum test. You passed it, and you probably passed it 8 weeks ago when they put you in the 221G medical hold. It was probably good then too, but they're very strict on the medical exam. So you passed it. Now you just got to wait for you guys to get the visa, put in the passport, and then fly from Manila to the USA, to Colorado, right? Cold Colorado. Angelica, good evening, Diego. Let me see here. I hope you enjoyed the live show. Pregunta para ti. ¿Te gusta allí en Bogotá Central luz para Navidad? Karina said it was beautiful. Francois Livingston, good evening, Diego and Karina. Francois, so glad Karina is here tonight. How was the Christmas lights event? Francois, Karina had a great time, and every 10 minutes she had her cell phone. Karina had her cell phone, And every 10 minutes, she'd be live streaming the light show from me here in the apartment. There's no way that I'm going to go and hang out in central Bogota with 11 million people watching a light show. I'm not going to do it. But Karina loves the Christmas period. Karina loves Christmas. This is her favorite time of the year. Favorite. She loves it. And so we gave our Christmas tree to her brother because we didn't think we were going to be here for Christmas. So we don't have a Christmas tree now. So we're going to go to We're going to spend Christmas at our brother's house where they have a Christmas tree. Let me see here. Harold, A, I sent my K1 visa in May. When do you think I'll get my NOA2 letter? I would say probably February of 2024, Harold. Right around there, right around February. Now, Julian ALO. Hi, Diego. I'm from Congolese. So you're from the Congo. Well, is Congolese a different country? Are you living in Uganda? Kampala? Okay, no problem. USCIS is working on cases of which month? September. They're working September 2023 cases. September 2022 cases. Correction. Will that? No, let me see. I don't want to not mess up his question here. So you're in the Congo. That's great. Congolese. Jacob Myers, passed on medical, and Gieka, good evening. And yeah, Karina liked the medical show. She loved the light show. Nick, Diego, I have emailed the county clerk regarding what documents needed for the court marriage, but she sent me the link with the information. Okay, print that email from the clerk of the court because that is evidence of your planning your marriage. So print that email. Okay, number one. Is that enough? It's enough, but you need more. Just my recommendation. After we print the information, the website along with the email. Okay, Nick, what you need to do now is you got to email the person back and say, thank you very much for sending me the link to the information that is required for our wedding plans. Write that email, sign your full name, write your beneficiary's full name and the country that she's living in, and send that email. And then print that email. Okay, so now you've got to respond to the email that you're planning your wedding at the courthouse. And you got to respond to that. Jose Apolinar Ramirez, Diego, as soon as Juliana and I arrive in the USA, I will send you and Karina a super chat. You don't have to do that, Jose, but we've been spending the super chat money. We've been eating at all these different restaurants, and I bought Karina some perfume also. So, Denise Jefferson asked me to do that, so I promised that I would. So we've been eating good on super chat money. We appreciate you guys. So you guys can have dinner on us. I tried to send it to you from Santo Domingo, and it had the currency in pesos. That's okay. I mean, you can send a super chat from Santo Domingo, and then YouTube converts it into dollars. So you can do it if you want to send it from Santo Domingo. You can do it. This technology is fantastic. It gets converted into dollars. Somebody sent us a super chat from the Philippines, and I looked at it. I'm like, what the heck is that? And then it got changed into dollars. But we appreciate the kind thought, Jose. Angieka, good evening. Hope Karina enjoyed the light show, which she did. I answered Nick's question. Anil Kamar, Vade, what options are we left after K1 denied? Anil, I have explained to you, Anil, your K1 visa got denied at the embassy. I'm sorry that happened, okay? It's horrible. It's a horrible thing that happened. I feel bad for you. Okay, I wish I could change it. But what the embassy is going to do is they are going to send that back. The visa package is going to get sent back to USCIS, and USCIS will close it out, and it's done, okay? Can US Embassy allow me to meet him, or still can we be able to visit in India? Just because your K1 visa, Anil, was denied at the embassy, the U.S. government cannot stop you from meeting with your future husband. They can't block you. It's a free country. The United States cannot stop you or your sponsor from meeting each other. Again, okay? I want something for my love, but I don't know what I can do for him. You want to do something for him? Get married in a country that's friendly to you guys. Okay, you're in India. What I would do is have your sponsor meet you in a friendly country. You guys get married. That's friendly to your orientation. You guys get married, and then your sponsor files for a spousal visa. Okay, he can do that. He can spot. He can. You guys can still get together. Just because the K1 was denied doesn't mean you guys can't go down option 2, which is the spousal visa. Go to England, somewhere like that. Go to Europe. Go to a friendly country that's friendly to your orientation. Get married. File the spousal visa, and then wait out the process again. This is my second K1 visa. Okay, first one didn't work out. Okay, I'm not going to be a victim, man. I'm not going to let immigration or somebody in a foreign country knock me on my butt. Get back up, dust yourself down, okay, and reprocess the visa as a spousal visa. But get married first. You got to get married. And Anil, you need to get married, okay? Jose Apolana Ramirez. Diego, thank you for all your help and support in this lengthy process. Jose, it's no problem, Jose. We're here for you guys, okay? And I submitted the email to the embassy in Bogotá for Karina's Interpol police certificate on, I think it was 12 December, on the 12th of December. So it takes about 10 to 12 days to process. So hopefully by the end of December, we should be on a plane headed to Florida. Maximum, the longest we'll probably have to wait is the beginning of January. Jacob Myers, yes, it was 25 and snowing, 25 degrees and snowing in Colorado. When I left Colorado, it's tropical and hot in Manila. I'm in for a real treat. Yeah, Manila's hot. I've never been to the Philippines. I've never been, okay? But I think May is the hottest month in the Philippines. I think May's the hottest month. And Jeka, do you know if we can pay the visa fee on the day of the interview instead of online? Now you're in South Africa, so it's up to the embassy in Johannesburg. No, it goes to, where does it go? Doesn't it go to Johannesburg, the consulate first, then to Cape Town? Or does it go to Cape Town, then Johannesburg? But the embassy should send you an email, packet 3, packet 4 email, telling you how to pay the visa fee. The embassy tells you how to do it, okay? They basically control the process. So the embassy tells you how to do it. So look in your email box, look for information. Some countries you got to pay at the bank. I think in Nigeria, Morocco. I think in Morocco you got to pay the visa fee at a bank in person. And then when I filed my first K1 visa back in 2016, I had to pay the visa fee at the bank in Bogotá. So now this time around, I paid online. And as soon as the government got the money out of my credit card, they opened up the calendar for me to schedule the visa interview and the biometrics. So Angieka, you gotta figure out, what the embassy wants you to do. Julianne ALO, hi Diego, I'm from the Congo. Yeah, I answered your question. Harold A, thank you, no problem. Faris, hey Diego, my fiance's interview is coming up in February 26th. That's not very far away. And I have some relatives that just had their interview, and they told them they are missing papers. So your question is what? What are all the required paperwork that needs to be done before the interview? Because I don't want to have to deal with any delays. Okay. what those people are probably saying is that they forgot to bring paperwork to the visa interview. The paperwork you need to bring to the visa interview is all police certificates, a photocopy of the biographic page of the beneficiary's passport, the original passport, a copy of the birth certificate and the original birth certificate of the K1 and the K2s, proof of the relationship, photos, boarding passes, plane tickets, proof of the relationship. Let me see. The I-134, the Declaration of Financial Support. You must bring the original I-134 to the interview. Your last tax return. I would get the last 3 tax returns plus tax transcripts in case they ask for more proof of financial income. W-2s, 1099s if you're self-employed. 6 months worth of pay stubs. A letter from the boss saying that you work at this particular place and you make this much money. 12 months worth of bank statements. You got to bring all that to the visa interview and then let the immigration officer decide what he or she needs or wants. One person sent me a message and said, I went to my visa interview and they didn't ask for my I-134. What should I do? I said, well, you keep your mouth closed and you wait for your passport to be returned to you. When you get to the United States, then you adjust your status, but don't forget to include the I-864 adjustment of status paperwork for the affidavit of support, you know? So it all depends on the embassy too. So Faris, so I just went over the required documents for the visa interview. Janiela James, hi Diego, hope all is well. We are good, Janiela. Karina stocked up on fruit for the house. Now we don't know how, we're kind of like leery about buying a bunch of food because we don't know when we're going to be leaving Colombia pretty soon. So we don't want to be stuck with a bunch of food in the house. Francois Livingston, I was married before, okay, and the divorce was finalized in 2012, no problem. Did you say we need to get a certified divorce decree? Do I go to the Department of Health? Francois Livingston, if you were divorced in 2012, you need to get a certified copy of your divorce decree. Now, that means, you know, don't make this mistake. Some people email the clerk of the court and say, hey, or in New York City, it's the health department. I don't know who has your divorce decree. But what I would do is go in person to that building, to that office, and say, I need a certified copy of my divorce decree. Pay the $20, or if you're in New York City, pay the $50, because I know things are like 3 times as expensive in New York, in wherever it is you live, because of the insane, taxes. But go face to face to the clerk of the court and say, I need a certified copy of my divorce decree from 2012. Pay for the divorce decree, which has to be signed by a judge. The clerk of the court will print it, stamp it, sign it, and date it, however many pages it is, 5, 10, 20 pages. That is the form your beneficiary is going to need at the embassy interview. Do not scan it to him. Do not make a PDF copy of your divorce decree and email it to him. It will be rejected at the embassy interview, okay? You got to have the original divorce decree, the finalized one, okay? You got it? Francois, tell me you understand what I just said. Because if you don't get that finalized copy, you're going to have issues at the embassy interview. Marvel, Campbell, Diego and Karina, what's going on? Jen asked Diego, do you know where in the United States can you do biometrics? Thank you. Well, whatever city you live in, what's going to happen is when you apply for the green card and you pay that $1,200 or whatever it is, I don't know how much it is exactly, that will include the biometrics fee. If you pay the correct amount, if you don't mess up the paperwork for your green card, you will get an email and or probably a letter from immigration telling you where you have to go for your biometrics, for the biometrics, which is the fingerprints. Okay. Now, I took off my promise ring because I bought Karina and I wedding rings in Bogotá, and my promise ring was so tight on my finger, I thought I was going to have to cut my finger off just to take it off. So I took it off. So do you understand what I said about the biometrics? Okay. Let me see here. Michael Q. So yeah, Jen S. The immigration, when you file for the green card, they're going to send you a letter telling you where to go for the biometrics. Karina and I are probably going to have to go to New Orleans. Either New Orleans or Montgomery, Alabama. I don't know. We'll find out. Michael Q, how long is the NOA2 valid after approval? In a situation where the petitioner has financial problems, can you write a letter to USAS to extend it for a year? Doesn't work that way. Your NOA2 letter is good for 4 months. It expires in 4 months. There's a 4-month window of time on the NOA2 letter. To extend it, the only thing you can do to extend it is extend it up to the visa interview. So you get your NOA2 letter in your hand, and underneath your beneficiary's name is going to be her new alien number that's going to be assigned to her or him. And then it's going to be a date from this month to this month, 4 months. After 60 days or 70 days, send an inquiry to the National Visa Center, send an inquiry and say, I'm checking in on my NOA2 letter, I'm checking in on my case number, whatever you want to say. Put your beneficiary's full name, passport number, and your receipt number from the NOA2 letter in the email. That email inquiry to the NVC extends your NOA2 letter up to the visa interview. Okay, you got it? But no, if the petitioner is having financial problems and it's going to be a problem at the visa interview, you got to get a joint sponsor. Got to get a joint sponsor. Immigration are not going to extend your NOA2 letter while somebody's out there looking for a job. Doesn't work that way. David Rubio, hi Diego, my fiance is a Colombian national, fantastic, that lives in Colombia. She lived in Venezuela for 10 years, 6 years ago. Do you think she'll need a police report? Yes. Yes, David. If your beneficiary is a beautiful Colombian lady living in Colombia, but she lived in Venezuela for 10 years, she will need a Venezuelan police certificate. Okay? It's mandatory. If you lived in any country longer than 6 months or worked in any country longer than 6 months, you must get a police certificate from that country. Karina was born and raised in Venezuela. She got her Venezuelan scheduler number. She went online at like 2 o'clock in the morning on a Friday, which is the day she could look for a police certificate. She logged in to the Venezuelan police, and within 5 minutes, she had her police certificate. And then she printed it. And it said, the police certificate said, this police certificate is for the officials at the U.S. Embassy in the United States of America, confirming that Karina has got no legal problems or pending legal problems in the Republic of Venezuela. So David also asked me this, will she need an Interpol report? No. If your prometida is Colombian and she's living in Colombia back home where she was raised and born, she doesn't need an Interpol police certificate. She only needs it if she's Venezuelan living in Colombia. Faris Hassan, thank you so much, Diego. Faris, glad to help you. Miguel, Diego, if the petitioner fills out the DS-160, who signs the form? The beneficiary. Like I basically filled out the DS-160 on my computer in Florida for Karina. But it asked me, did anybody help Karina fill out this form? Yes. So I put my name and my information down that I helped Karina fill out the form. Karina can't speak English, and the form's in English. The DS-160 is, for every country in the world, is in English. She can't. So I filled it out, but I'm on the phone with Karina asking her the questions. Boom, pregunta, and she's answering me in Spanish, and I'm answering the questions on the DS-160. And then it said, did anybody help you fill out this form? Well, yeah, I did. I put my name. I helped fill out the form. And then you put your benefit. Then who signed the form? Karina's name went on the bottom as an electronic signature. If you sign the DS-160 for her in your name, the form is worthless and will be shredded at the embassy interview. You won't even make it to the biometrics. You fill out the DS-160, you help your prometida, you put your name as the helper, Mr. Sponsor, and then you put your beneficiary's name as the person that signed it. April Flower, Dina, May, I know how long it took for you guys to get to the interview appointment in Dubai. Or how long did it take? So April Flower wants to know how long did it take to get the interview appointment in Dubai. Miguel, on DS-160, what do you answer for a person's traveling with you? If I'm traveling with my fiance to the USA, well, then you put you're traveling with somebody. You're not going to be traveling alone. You're traveling with somebody. If you're traveling with somebody, that's going to be your sponsor. You put I'm traveling with somebody. You got it? When I filled out the DS-160, I put I'm traveling. Karina put she's traveling with me. She's traveling with somebody. Who? Me. Her future husband. Hopefully this month. After Christmas, probably, because the embassy is going to slow down during Christmas week because in Colombia has more holidays than any country in the world, or the number 2 country in the world with holidays. Every time we turn around, there's a holiday, and the embassy's closed because the U.S. Embassy in Bogotá closes on Colombian holidays and American holidays. So if you want a job working at the embassy in Bogotá and you want lots of time off, come to Bogotá. It's like every day's a holiday here. Let's see here. CCB. Hey, Diego, with the beautiful Karina, my lovely prometida. How are you? ¿Cómo estás, mi amor?
Bien, gracias.
Muy bien, gracias. We're good. My question, tengo una pregunta. Okay, my question is, do we get a one-way ticket or a round-trip ticket if my fiance gets the visa? You buy a one-way ticket. Why would you buy a return ticket? Why would you do that? You're flying one way from your country, where you live, to America. When Karina finally gets her Venezuelan passport in her beautiful hand with her finely manicured nails, when she gets it, I'm buying her plane ticket from Bogotá to Miami. One way. One way. GNS, 1225. That's okay. $1,225. So that's how much it is for the adjustment of status. I figured it was about $1,200, somewhere in there. Francois Livingston, I'm not in New York City. I'm in upstate New York. But your governor, the governor of New York, is a full-blown socialist, right? She loves taxing you guys. She taxes this. She has the New York legislator probably taxes the cracks in the sidewalks. Francois, I feel sorry for you. New York, I used to live in New York City. You know, when I was very long time ago, I was in New York City with my aunt, and she worked at the World Trade Center. And I used to go hang out with her in the World Trade Center. But the state of New York is taxed out of, I think New Jersey, New York, and California are the highest tax states in our union. The governments of those 3 states seem to think they know how to spend your money better than you do. But anyway, Francois, I hope the information helped you. GNS, yes, I do. Thanks. Miguel, on the DS-160, what answer do I have immediate relatives in the USA? Does your beneficiary have any immediate relatives in the USA? Now, you don't include the sponsor. When you fill out the DS-160, you don't include the sponsor as an immediate relative because you guys are not married yet. You are fiancé. You're a fiancé, okay? You're not an immediate relative. When you guys get married, then you are an immediate relative. So if you're like Karina, she doesn't have any relatives in the United States. She doesn't know anybody besides me and my family. So she put, no, I don't have any immediate relatives in the USA on the DS-160. When she gets to America, we get married in Florida. Guess what? I am now her immediate relative. I'm her husband. Pennsylvania. GNS is in Pennsylvania. Okay, very nice. Pennsylvania. It's cold in Pennsylvania. Thank you so much, says GNS. You're welcome. Francois Livingston, thank you. I could not remember where to go for that certified copy. It's at the courthouse. Go to the courthouse. Okay? Either the court or the Department of Health, like where you get copies of birth certificates and so forth. Okay. When I got divorced in Florida, my divorce decree is in the clerk of the court's office in Santa Rosa County, which is about, I don't know, I had to get in my car. I had to drive to the clerk of the court's office. I had to walk in the clerk of the court's office and say, hello, I need a certified copy of my divorce decree. You don't have to tell them why. It's none of their business. Okay? Just say, I need a certified copy of my divorce decree. I paid $20. I think it was $20, $24 on my credit card. It was $24.75 because they billed me for the credit card fee. The lady printed my divorce decree. Boom, boom. It was like 10 pages. She stamped it. She signed it. And she dated it and said, here you go. Here's your final divorce decree. I made sure I checked and said, okay, this was signed by the judge. Because there are two divorce decrees. There's one by the magistrate and this one signed by the judge. You got to have the one signed by the judge. I looked. Okay, it was signed by the judge. She stamped it. She signed it. She dated it. I then took the clerk of the court's business card out of the little stand behind the glass window, and I stapled it to the bottom left-hand corner of the divorce decree, and I put it in a document protector. Then I put it in my bag, and I flew to Colombia, and I gave it to my beautiful soon-to-be Mrs. Diego very soon. No más señorita, it's Senora Karina. I gave it to her. She took it to the embassy interview, and they looked at it very closely, and they asked her, is this a copy of a copy, or is this the certified copy from the courthouse? She said, it's the original certified copy from the courthouse. And right here is the business card of the clerk of the court. If you want to call him and verify this document, I covered every single base. I had a feeling they were going to ask her that question. So I covered that base. And the immigration officer, the consular officer, the embassy said, no, Karina, you're good. This is good. This document is perfect. And he set it aside. Check. Divorce decree. They got this big checklist. Divorce decree, check. Bien, it's good. Let me see here. David Rubio, where do I get the Venezuelan police certificate? Do you have the link? Donde police certificado y con Venezuela? It's on the internet. You got it? What's the name? ¿Cuál es nombre? Karina can't remember, but if you Google Venezuelan Police Department, okay, go Google Venezuelan Police Department, and it will take you to the Venezuelan Police Department. And then you're going to look for police certificates. It's going to be in Spanish. So your beneficiary who speaks Spanish needs to go look for it. Okay? Okay, you got it? She was illegal in Venezuela. Does that matter? Well, if she was illegal in Venezuela, then she didn't get issued a Venezuelan cedula. She wasn't issued documents giving her permission to live in Venezuela. So it's going to be hard to get a police certificate from Venezuela without a Venezuelan cedula. So what I would do is this. I would go online to the Venezuelan Police Department and put in her Colombian cedula number. Okay? Put in her Colombian cedula number and see what happens. See what pops up. Okay? If there's no record, it's going to say no record. If there's no record of her being in Venezuela, then it never happened, right? It never happened. But I don't know. I think you told me that that she may have a child that was born in Venezuela. Is that correct? If I remember rightly, didn't she have a baby in Venezuela? I can't remember. Maybe it was somebody else. Let me know if that happened. Let me see. Yeah, it's not a good idea to be in a country illegally. whether it's in the USA or in Venezuela or in Colombia. When Karina entered Colombia, she was granted asylum and she got legal residency and protected status. The Colombian police gave Karina protective status in Colombia because Venezuela is not a very nice place for its citizens right now. It's ran by a communist dictator. Okay, if you don't agree with Maduro, you end up in jail, or your family business gets decimated, or something bad could happen. So they gave Karina protective legal status in Colombia, and they gave her 2 years first. And then I went with Karina to immigration in Bogotá, and they upgraded her protective status from 2 years because her cedula was just about expired, and they gave her a 10-year protective status. So Karina's good for 10 years in Colombia. But in the next 2 to 3 weeks, we hope we're in Florida. So the Minister of Relations and Justice of the Interior. So Venezuela, you go to, so if you need to get a Venezuelan police certificate, go to the Ministry of Popular Relations, the Interior and Justice Department. Okay? Have your beneficiary put in her Colombian cedula number, see what happens. But if she was in Venezuela illegally, there's not going to be any record of her being there. It's not going to show up. So, she may have to explain that. She could either write a letter and explain that, say she was in Venezuela illegally without documentation, write a letter, explain it, have an affidavit, sign it and date it, and then hope that immigration don't get mad that she did that, which they probably won't. They probably won't. Crossing between Venezuela and Colombia isn't difficult. Francois Livingston, can I get a certified copy now or wait? Get it now, Francois. Francois, listen. Get that divorce decree Monday, Tuesday. Go get it, but get 2. You're going to need 2 copies of the certified divorce decree. You're going to need 1 for the embassy interview, and you're going to need 1 when you process the green card. When you get married, okay, and you all start your lives together in New York, you're going to file for the green card. You have to include in the green card application a certified copy of the divorce decree, just like the one that your beneficiary is going to give to the embassy officer. The embassy officer more than likely is going to keep that divorce decree, and you're never going to see it again. What they're going to do is they're going to scan it into their computer, and then they're going to shred the document. So get 2, Francois. Get 2, dos, un, deux, trois. Get 2 copies of your divorce decree. That way, when you file the green card, you already have it at your house. And you don't have to go out and traipse by the house to get it. Let me see here. Lots of questions, guys. Norfowl. Hello, Diego. Got married and now we want to do adjustment of status. Do I have to go to the doctor? You have to include in your green card application Form I-693 in a sealed envelope, which is your medical exam. You will get an RFE from the immigration folks in Chicago, Phoenix, wherever it is, if you do not include a medical exam from a certified civil surgeon in your green card application. Okay, when Karina gets to Florida, we're going to get married. The first thing we're going to do is drive over to Pensacola and get her medical exam done for her green card and her vaccination. The doctor's got to look and check off her vaccinations. That must be included in the green card application. If you don't include that in the green card application, you're going to get an RFE, and then you're going to have to go get a medical exam and get the vaccination certificate done. So when you get to the USA, find a civil surgeon that is authorized by the State Department to give medical exams, and just get another one. Get a brand new medical exam done. It will save you a massive headache. Trust me. Let me see. Being illegal in Venezuela isn't a good thing, okay? It's not good to be illegal anywhere in any country. I mean, look at the United States. I mean, the whole country is overwhelmed with illegals. Okay, it's going to be hard for those folks to get a job, to get an apartment, to do anything without documentation. So yeah, Nufal, you're going to have to get another medical exam. If you get the medical, you're going to have you do the medical exam overseas. Also, Karina's had her medical exam, but it's only good for 6 months. So we're going to get a new one done in Pensacola. Miguel, you say not to include the sponsor, but on the form it explains the immediate relative means the fiance or fiancée. You're not an immediate relative. It's not your fiancé. Okay? When you get married, that's when you become an immediate relative. Right now, you're boyfriend, girlfriend, fiancé. So if you want to go ahead and check immediate relative, go ahead. But the question is basically stupid and mute and irrelevant. Francois Livingston, if I could, I would move in a heartbeat. Francois, get out of New York. Move to Florida. Move to Texas. Move to Nevada. Move someplace where you are free. Living in New York State is not a free state. It's ran by a bunch of Marxists, communists, socialists. Just my opinion. You know, they love taking your money. If you make $100, they take $80 in tax. How much does it cost to go across the Verrazano Narrows Bridge if you're in a car or in a truck? How much does it cost one way to enter New York City? It's insane. You know, if I go to New York, I'll take Karina to New York for a vacation, go up the Empire State Building, check out the Statue of Liberty and all that. But we'd never live there. We would never live there. You know, if you like living in New York, if you like giving the government most of your paycheck so they can go spend it on some stupid whatever, knock yourself out. But Francois, there's always a way out of New York City or New York. I got out of there. I was living with my aunt, Staten Island. I said, I'm out of here. Take me to JFK. I bought a one-way ticket to Florida. Boom, I had no job. I had nothing. I had my backpack and my clothes. I got to Jacksonville. I'm like, what do I do now? Okay, I spent the night in Jacksonville, Florida. I didn't like it there. I mean, Jacksonville's nice, but I didn't want to live there. And I got on the bus and I rode to Fort Walton Beach. I got off the bus in Fort Walton Beach and said, yeah, this is where I want to be. And I got off the bus. I entered the Greyhound bus station. I said, hey, you guys hiring? I need a job. And the manager of the Greyhound bus station hired me on the spot. I'd been there 10 minutes. That's how it all started for Diego in Florida. Let me see. Bud Garcia, hello, Diego and Karina from Washington State. Sorry for joining late. Bud, you're never late. You are detained elsewhere, okay? Remember, I'm a retired Navy senior chief, and Navy senior chiefs were never late. They were never late. They were detained elsewhere, and they were expert managers of time, okay? So you're not late, Bud. You're good. Francois, can I get certified copies of the divorce decree now? Yes. Andrew Bryan, what's up, Diego? What's going on, Andrew? Francois Livingston, my decree was signed by the judge. You're good. Get on Monday, go to the courthouse and get 2 certified copies of your divorce decree. One for the embassy interview, one for the green card, and you're good. David Rubio, child was born in Colombia. Okay, so your prometida is Colombian, living in Colombia. She lived in Venezuela for 10 years with no documents. Her child was born in Colombia. When she tries to find a police certificate for Venezuela, it's not going to show anything. Nothing's going to show up. I got a feeling, but she needs to try. Okay, she needs to try. What if the immigration officer, what if the consular officer asks her, have you lived in any other country besides Colombia? She has to answer yes in Venezuela, illegally. Don't ever lie to an immigration officer. If you lie to an immigration officer, your visa will be denied permanently for the rest of eternity. So I would have your beneficiary be right, honest, and upfront, and write a letter, an affidavit saying that I lived in Venezuela for 10 years without documents. Don't say illegal, say without documents. explain why she was in Venezuela, what was the reason, give a strong explanation, and then put when she entered and when she left and came back to Colombia, and sign and date it and have it in your hand. Don't offer the information unless it's asked for, okay? The consular officer says, have you lived in any other country besides Colombia? Oh, yeah, I lived in Venezuela. Okay. And I can't get a police certificate because I wasn't there without documents. And here's my letter of explanation. You got it? Relax, man. It's going to work out. I don't want to miss anybody. Francois, get out of New York. Come on. Get out of that. Get out of New York. Everybody's leaving New York because they can't stand the taxes. Let me see. Andrew says, what's up, Diego? Child was born in Colombia for David Rubio. No problem. So there's no problem with the birth certificate. Yo, te lo cuento. Hello. Hola, Diego. Thank you so much for all your help. Our visa was approved yesterday. High five. Good job. We knew you were going to get it. We hope we helped you. Norfout, how much does it cost to do medical exam in the US? It depends on the doctor. Every doctor in America have got their own cost of doing things. If you live in Alaska or Hawaii or New York or California, it's probably going to cost you twice as much to get a medical exam than if you live in Florida, Texas, or Nevada. It depends on where you live and how much the doctor bills are. I don't know. I couldn't tell you. Francois Livingston, Diego, your French is okay, but your Spanish is numero uno. Forever, thank you so much. No, Francois, gracias para tu benedicción palabras. My Spanish has to be good. I got to know what Karina tells me to do something. She tells me to go to the store. I got to know what she's saying.
No.
Huh?
Tu español muy bien.
Karina says my Spanish is good too. Now, I took French in high school. And I think I got kicked out of my French high school class. I think the teacher kicked me out. I think he booted me out because I kept joking around too much. I kept messing around too much. I wouldn't pay attention. They kicked me out of French class and put me in music. They had me learn how to they put me in a drum class. Okay, but I was learning French pretty good. You know, bonjour, comment ça va? Ça va bien, merci. Maintenant, that means now, right? Like now in Spanish is ahora. Ahora, now. But in French, it's maintenant. Okay, let's see. Miguel, did the CO, did the consular officer ask Karina when's the last time you saw Diego? Yes, Miguel. The consular officer asked Karina, when was the last time you saw Diego? And she said about 30 minutes ago, because he's in bed in the apartment sick with the flu. I got Bogotá flu. I got mountain sickness, both at the same time. So I got a double whammy. I was all ready to go to the interview with Karina. I was going to go to the Bogotá embassy, American embassy in Bogotá, and go to the interview with her. I'll go hang out there. But I was so sick I couldn't do it. And the the consular officer said, when was the last time you saw Diego? And she said about 30 minutes ago. He's in bed sick. He wrote it in his computer. Okay, boom. And then he asked her, how many times have I been to Colombia to visit with Karina? How many times did I come here to be with her, to visit her? And she said 4 times. This is his 5th time. And he wrote it in the computer. And she said, well, we lived together for 11 months. We lived together for 5 months. We lived together for 5 weeks. And the immigration officer goes, wow, you guys are good. You guys are good. Let me see. David Rubio, how you said to look for Venezuelan police report. Google the Venezuelan police report. Google Police Department, Venezuela. Your beneficiary in Colombia, get on a laptop, get on a computer, go to an internet cafe and Google Venezuelan Police Department, Justice and Financial Department. And then she can figure out how to get the police certificate, okay? It's not hard. Karina figured it out in about 10 minutes. Francois Livingston, what do you think of the Carolinas? Now, I lived in South Carolina for 4 years. I was in Charleston, South Carolina, as a member of the United States Navy for 4 years. And I loved it in South Carolina. But the winters were really cold. Karina's going to go do something with the cat. The cat climbed up in the roof, I think, or something. Tokyo is doing something up in the roof. He's walking around up in the roof. Now, I lived in South Carolina for 4 years in Charleston. The summers were fantastic. The economy was fantastic. But the problem I had was in the wintertime, it was cold. I was frozen to death in the wintertime. But I tell you what, I'd much rather live in the South Carolina or North Carolina than I would New York State. New York State is a Marxist, socialist, unbelievable. No problem. I couldn't live there. They tax everything. If I work hard, if I go to New York City and start a business and I work hard and create a fantastic company, the state's going to take more than half of what I do. They think they're entitled to it. They're not entitled to it. So get out of New York if you can, Francois. Just get out of there. David, how did you say to look for the Venezuelan police report? Google Venezuelan police report. Google Venezuelan justice of the peace. Google Venezuelan justice and financial justice. It's not hard, man. Francois, I loved living in South Carolina. Okay, the only thing that really bothered me about South Carolina was the winter times were very cold, and Karina has rescued Tokyo. She got him out of the roof. Okay. I don't want to miss anybody. Patricia Collison. Hi, family. Diego. Final judgment and decree of divorce is different from divorce decree. No, it's the same thing. But the divorce decree must say final judgment and it must be signed by a judge. When I got divorced, the first paperwork I got was signed by a magistrate. The magistrate signed off on the divorce decree. But that's not good enough for immigration. You got to have the judge's signature. So I got the magistrate to sign it. Then I had to wait a week for the judge's signature to come in, and they emailed me the judge's signature. When I saw that I had got the divorce finalized and signed by a judge in an email, I didn't print that email because it's no good. It doesn't qualify as a legal document for the embassy. So I went to the courthouse, the clerk of the court, the courthouse. Oh, it's not the courthouse. I went to the clerk of the court, it's a different building, and got the finalized certified copy of the divorce decree signed by the judge and gave it to Karina for a visa interview. And they looked at it very carefully and they asked her, is this a copy of a copy? And she said, no, it's the original. It's like stamped in blue and everything's blue. And here's the business card of the clerk of the court. Let me see. David Rubio, she got her Cedula ID card in Venezuela, but it's a Colombian ID. Okay, if she got a Cedula ID in Venezuela, that's a Venezuelan ID. And then she's also going to have a Colombian Cedula. Karina has two Cedulas, one for Venezuela and one for Colombia. When she got her Venezuelan police certificate, she used her Cedula number from her Venezuelan Cedula. Okay? Now, Karina has just typed in the website to get the police certificate from Venezuela. Ted, Diego, I'm here in Bogotá. Welcome to Colombia. Buenas. Enjoying tamales. Tamales are good, aren't they? My fiance asked if the second letter of intent is important. She did not see it in the instructions. They didn't ask for Karina for a second letter of intent to get married. And it's not in the instructions. But here's what my advice to you is. Write those second letters of intent to get married sign them and date them, and have them ready at the visa interview. Just because it's not in the list of instructions, and just because they didn't ask Karina for her second letter of intent to get married, doesn't mean they won't ask you for your second letter of intent to get married. There is nothing in the list of instructions that says that Karina needed an Interpol police certificate. Nothing. There's not even on their website does it say that Venezuelans need an Interpol police certificate. It says that Venezuelans can adjudicate their visa at the embassy in Bogotá, but it doesn't say they need an Interpol police certificate. Get it done. Get it done like tonight and have it with you for the visa interview, and then you have the base covered. Okay? If they don't ask for it, don't worry about it. But what if they do? What if they ask you for it and you don't have it? What are you going to do? What are you going to do? You're going to be in a holding pattern like we are right now. Ramon Gallardo, I'm happy. Got my NOE 2 yesterday. Okay. How's everything? Everything's good. Thanks, Ramon. Now, Ramon, you're going to have to wait probably for 60 or 90 days for your NOE for your MVC welcome letter. Whew. Karina is going to open the window. Okay. Mr. Nahas, hi Diego. We got approved 2 days ago in Turkey, Ankara, Turkey. Wish everyone get approved soon. Congratulations, Mr. Nahas. High five. Great job. Andrew Bryan, I'm in Michigan. Did you ever visit here before? I've never been to Michigan, Andrew. I've never been to Michigan. I'm sorry. Let me see. Right there, Karina has written the website for you to go to get a Venezuelan police certificate. David Rubio, she got at the Colombian embassy. She got what at the Colombian embassy? Marcel, MP, hi Diego and Karina. Marcel, what's going on? What's going on? Andrew Bryan, Diego, got married last week. About to put my adjustment of status together. No, but I didn't know the process would take this long. It takes a long time. It takes a long time. Nothing's fast. Marcel, my medical exam is this Wednesday. I've never been so excited to see a doctor before. Marcel. Whew. Ted, I agree with you on having all the things ready, even if they don't ask. Best to be prepared. Okay, guys, I've been talking for an hour and a half. The cat continues to destroy the live stream. Karina, I need for you to help me get the cat off this table, please. Oh, so the cat has climbed inside the box where I'm doing the live stream. Amazing, right? Okay, guys, I'm going to sign off now. The cat has stopped the live stream. I really needed Karina to stop to help with this. I'll see you guys. Let me see. What's today? Saturday? I'll see you guys on Monday. Jeff Mantalk. Hello, Diego. How are you? And your lady. We are good. Karina's trying to fix the live stream. So I'm going to put this down here so we can continue now. Sorry, guys. I mean, I'm trying to do a live stream for you, and the cat is always interfering with what we're trying to do, and we are going to take care of it right now. Okay, let's continue. Whew. Tokyo jumped in the box where the cameras were set, and he's shaking the whole thing around. I think feels like we're having an earthquake here. And, I depend on Karina to help me, and she did. Jeff Mantalk, hello, Diego. How are you? We're good. Marcel, Karina is taking care of the cat. I reset the cameras. K Messenger, hola. Mexico, Feliz Navidad, Diego and Karina. Andamos aquí esperar el número de factura de embajada. Okay. So you're waiting for a number, a receipt number. So you're waiting for a receipt number from the embassy in Mexico. Karina has rejoined us. Now, when I do the next live stream, guess what? The cat is not going to be in here. He's going to be out there with the door closed, and he can play out there so he doesn't destroy the live stream. Let me see. Tokyo wants to be a camera cat. Marcel, Tokyo jumped into the camera box. And actually, it's not the camera box, it's Tokyo's play box that I used for the camera. So he really didn't do anything wrong. He thought it was okay to do that because it's his, and I borrowed it. So I can't be mad at the cat. David Rubio, she got her Colombian ID when she was 18. Yeah. At the Colombian embassy in Venezuela. Okay. So she never got a Venezuelan ID. She never got a Venezuelan ID. You got to write a letter of explanation. K Messenger, correct? Yes, sir. Have a great night. Now, we're hanging out, guys. I'm going to stick around for a bit longer. Karina had to jump up and let Tokyo play in his box that I was using as a camera stand. It's his box. He jumped in it. He's like, it's my box. You're using it. So I can't be mad at the cat. So Tokyo basically said, this is my box. I'm going to play in it. I don't care if you're doing a live stream. And I felt like we was in an earthquake. So Karina had to get up, take the box away, and then we're good. Now we're good. Francois Livingston, no worries, Diego. Tokyo is like a child who wants your attention. Tokyo is a niño. Tokyo is 1 year old. Okay, he's a baby. He's a baby cat that wants to play. And every time I do a live stream, he's like, "You're ignoring me," and he wants me to play with him, which is fine. I love Tokyo. David Rubio, it states on the ID that she got it in Venezuela. Okay, well, she could have been on vacation in Venezuela and asked for an ID. I mean, she could have went to Venezuela for a vacation for 2 months and then she turned 18. She got her ID while she was at the embassy there. Okay, it's no big deal, but she needs to write a letter of explanation why she was in Venezuela for 10 years without paperwork. Got to explain it. I really don't think it's going to stop your visa. I don't think it's going to be a problem. K Messenger, what is the status of your travels back to Florida? We had to wait for an Interpol police certificate. So we got the Interpol police certificate. Took about 3 weeks to get it. Then I uploaded it. I didn't upload it. I just emailed it to the embassy. The immigration officer said, the consular officer said I had to upload it, but it's not an electronic visa. K1 is not electronic. K1 is a physical visa. So I emailed it to the embassy. So I was one step ahead of the consular officer. The consular officer made a mistake. I seem to know more about this process than immigration does. Let me see. So what is the status of our travels to Florida? As soon as the embassy emails me and says your Karina's visa is in her passport, we just got to go pick it up. We'll go get it. We'll go pick up the passport. I'll check it to make sure there's no spelling mistakes, no typos. And then we will go down to downtown Bogota and buy plane tickets from Bogota to Miami that day. David, correct. Marcel, did Karina pick up a wedding dress? Not yet. But on Monday, lunes, we pick up the wedding rings. Ineos. On Monday, we pick up the wedding rings. David Rubio, thank you, Diego and Karina, very much. David, here's what I recommend you do. Tell your beneficiary, tell your beautiful Colombian bride-to-be to write a letter of explanation why she was in Venezuela for 10 years without paperwork. Just explain it because her Colombian ID says it was issued in Venezuela. Just say she could write a letter saying, I was in Venezuela on vacation. You don't have to say how long the vacation was. I was in Venezuela on vacation. I turned 18 and I got my cedula in Venezuela. Easy, right? K Messenger. Hopefully your cat will. Hopefully your will be ASAP. We'll get it. Yeah, we'll probably hear from the embassy in Bogota. I would say it's Christmas month, so things slow down during Christmas. So probably the week after Christmas, we'll hear from the embassy with her passport. If I don't hear from the embassy by the 27th or 28th of December, I'm going to call the embassy up and say, "Hey, where's her passport, guys? We've been waiting almost 2 years. We're done waiting. We're done. Where is it at?" So, that's where we're at. And I apologize for the cat jumping into the box that was holding the camera, but it's his box. And he said, "I want to play in it." And he jumped up on the table and played in it. Marcel, Diego, do you know by any chance if it's difficult to get a U.S. driver's license if I've been driving in Canada for 5 years? Marcel, you can get a U.S. driver's license in the United States of America once you get your social security number. Well, in Florida, you cannot get a driver's license without a social security number. You got to have a social security number to get a driver's license in Florida. But if you know how to drive a car, you can drive a car. If you've been driving a car in Canada for 5 years, you can drive a car in the United States. I don't know. There's no difference, right? Except road signs in Canada are probably in French. Patricia T. Collison, Karina, was your interview? I don't understand the question, Patricia. Karina, was your son interviewed too? Was her son? No, he didn't get any questions. He stood there like a potted plant, waiting to be watered. Just stood there. No questions. He's good. Okay, guys, come on. What else you got? What other questions do you have? I've been talking an hour and 21 minutes, and we got 21 people watching. So now we got 20 people watching. If you got any questions, let me know. Or if not, I'm going to log off and get some dinner. Marcel, okay, will do. I just wondered if I have to take all the tests to get a license. Not all the signs are in French. Marcel, when you get to the United States of America, you're going to have to take an eyesight test to make sure you're not blind when you're driving. And you're going to have to take a road sign test to make sure you understand the road signs in the United States of America. And you probably have to take a drug and alcohol course, because in Florida, you have to take a drug and alcohol course, which explains the dangers of drinking and driving. Andrew, list some stuff that I should submit for my adjustment of status. Okay. Here's some stuff that you need to include for your adjustment of status paperwork. Your marriage certificate, your Form I-94, a photocopy of your K-1 visa, a photocopy of your biographic page of your passport, photos of your wedding, photos of your honeymoon. I'm talking pictures with friends and family. Let's see here. Put your new wife on the title to your car, on your apartment rental agreement, or your house, or your townhouse, or wherever it is you live. Make sure immigration know that you guys are joint owners on property, on cars. Put her on the gas bill, the water bill, the electric bill. Get her a credit card put her on your credit card with her separately with her name. Get her a library card, get her a CVS card, get her a Sam's Club card, get her a whatever. Just make sure you have a ton of evidence of your relationship, that you guys are together, living together. If you don't prove that, okay, strong enough to immigration, number one, you're going to require a second visa interview. Number two, immigration may come to your next door neighbor's house and knock on the door and say, "Hey, does so-and-so live here? Did he get married? Are they in a relationship? Can you tell, what do you know about the neighbors here?" Immigration's strict. But if you put together a really strong green card package, then you're not going to get a second green card interview. You're going to get your green card in the mail in 3 or 4 months. Don't forget the form I-94. That's the basics. K Messenger. I have one question. This will take a second. Okay, I'm here. I'm ready. Jeff Mantok. Diego, do I have to wait till I get our welcome letter before I can set up an account with the MVC? Well, to set up an account with the MVC, you got to have the case number, right? And you get the case number in the welcome letter. So if you can set it up before you get the case number, knock yourself out. Give it a shot. Bud Garcia, I got my NOA. Your NOA what? Your NOA 2, I'm assuming, right? Isn't your fiance in Thailand? I got my NOA 2 on October 20th. When should I send an email to him? October, November, January. First week of January, send an MVC inquiry and ask for the welcome letter. K Messenger, we are waiting for a police report from Japan. Okay, no problem. It will not be available until sometime in February. Takes a long time to get a police report from Japan. Takes a long time to get a police report from Hong Kong. It will probably not be available till February or March, but probably be able to schedule an interview January or early February. Okay, you don't want to schedule your visa interview without the police certificate. If you go to your visa interview without the police certificate, you're going to get it put in a 221G hold. And that's just going to extend the time that you have to wait for your visa. Bring the police certificates to the visa interview, guys. Daniel Rubio, how much was the medical in Bogotá? It was like $400, something like that. I had to get dollars and change them into pesos, and then we had to pay efectivo. Para America, comprar en efectivo. Had to pay in cash. So when I converted the dollars to pesos, it was about $400. Ernest Dosti, Diego, do you have any idea about when the 2024 slots will be available to schedule appointments in Ghana? Probably January. January 1st is when they're probably going to open up. So January 1st, get online and look for, on New Year's Day, you're going to be busy looking for an open slot for the visa interview. When I paid Karina's visa fee, it opened up the calendar for me to schedule Karina's visa interview, and there was only one day available, and that was November 16th. The entire month of November was already booked out except for November 16th. November 8th, I believe, was the biometrics. There was only one day available for biometrics. I was the last person that got those slots. I was real lucky, you know. Sometimes this process is pure luck. K Messenger, we will be fast prior to setting our interview. Thank you again. Okay, no problem. All right, guys, we're out of here. I'm getting hungry. Karina's getting hungry. Tu tienes hambre? Karina's a little hungry. I'm hungry. Next live stream, let me do a live stream tomorrow morning, Sunday morning, for our friends in Africa, like Andrieka. Okay, I promised her I would do a live stream tomorrow in the morning when she's not in bed, like 3 o'clock in the morning right now in Africa, South Africa. Patricia, Diego, I am worried because the embassy in Liberia is saying that they have 3,500 immigrant visa cases waiting for an interview, so I don't know what to do. Well, 3,500 immigrant visa cases include marriage visas, right? Not just K1s. That includes marriage visas. So that seems like a lot of people. So I got a hard time believing there are 3,500 people waiting for a visa in Liberia to move to the United States. I would have a hard time believing there's 350. So I'm thinking the embassy's telling you a story. I can't believe that many people. Maybe 300 max, okay? There's no way there are 3,500 Americans trying to marry Liberians. That's more than every visa process for Colombia in 6 months. That's crazy. So don't believe it. Don't worry. That's not true, in my opinion. I don't believe that. The embassy's telling you a story. Just like the NVC told me the US Embassy in Bogota was closed because of COVID. It's all bogus. I called the embassy. I said, you guys closed for COVID? No. Okay. I only live down the street from the embassy, 20 minutes. I emailed the NVC in an inquiry. I said, why are you guys telling people that you're closed because of COVID when they're not closed? I just talked to them on the phone. 3 days later, our K1 visa was in Bogota. Imagine that, right? Patricia, there is no way on the planet that there are 3,500 immigrant visas waiting to be processed in Liberia. The country's not that big. Where's Liberia? On the west coast of Africa? What's the population? How? It's impossible. Relax, just relax. You're going to be fine. You're going to get your K1 visa. Don't panic. Okay, guys, we'll see you guys. I'll see you guys tomorrow, early tomorrow morning. I'm going to do a live stream for our friends in South Africa. Hang in there, guys. Thanks for joining us, and take care and hang in there.